If you've lived with deep scarring, especially ice pick or indented scars, you know how discouraging it can be. Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful techniques that I've ever seen for rebuilding scarred skin, TCA CROSS. And we're pairing it with one of my favorite regenerative tools, copper peptides, for results that just get better over time. If you've ever felt like nothing works for your scars, this is the episode you need.
Today we are going to talk about scarring. It takes a long time for these scars to, come onto the skin. It's all of a sudden, you have some cystic acne. Next thing you know, you have some indentation scars possibly. It really works on your
Self-esteem.
Yeah, your self-esteem, and you just don't feel fabulous, and you feel like, I'm never going to be able to correct this.
Yeah, it does feel like something that is
permanent. It feels so permanent.
That it just is kind of taking over your face, and you're going to try to hide. And though there are some people that have one and feel like that's the end of the world.
Oh, yes.
And then there are some that have, just covered with rolling scars and things, and they're just like, Yeah. But we want to help everybody, and there are ways to.
Yes.
And there are definitely ways to improve it.
Yes.
No matter what, at the end of the day, we can improve it. You may not have a perfect surface. I mean, let's not be. Maybe with enough time.
Yeah.
But there are definitely things you can do. And, I mean, at home, which is what we're talking about. There are also, you could go to doctors and have things done. But in the home scope. So one of the things, so if you have a pimple, people just think of it as a bump on the top of the skin, but it's not. It's really whatever's up top here is in the bottom too. So think of it as like a sphere, not just like a half a thing. Yeah. So it's inflamed down here, and if that pimple is sitting there and lasting for, it can be weeks, right? And it's damaging the collagen down below. Yeah. And when this finally does heal, you're literally left with a divot in your skin, and it's called an atrophic scar when it penetrates deep. Yep. And if it's a single one, that's a lot of people refer to as an ice pick scar. It's kind of where you have just that hole that just never ends. It's like a black pit. I had a few of those on my face as well. And then a lot of times, you can have multiple cysts next to each other, or even like one now and one, 10 years from now. Sure. And when they merge together, those create even larger areas. And they both can be treated. Right. And I think the easiest way to treat those is with the CROSS method. Yeah. So, what is that? Okay, it's used with TCA, right? So it's called the TCA CROSS, chemical reconstruction of skin scars is what CROSS stands for. Got it. And so what they would do is we take a really super high percentage of TCA. Now, the highest percentage we recommend is the 30. That doesn't mean that there aren't higher. It doesn't mean that a doctor didn't use an 80% or 100%. True. That is not something you should ever do at home. And I just want to stress that point, because there are people that run amok and somewhere find something. And I cannot stress enough how dangerous that is, because if you were to get a little you have your little Q-tip or your toothpick and you touch skin that doesn't have a scar, now you've got a hole there. I mean, that is just,
or if it drips on an area that
drip, somebody bumps you, just
not good.
Don't
do it.
30 is very, very strong. So let's say we want to do a TCA CROSS. Let's just pretend this bottle is TCA. Now we sell these because, in all honesty, these, you can use a toothpick if you want. A toothpick isn't super, super sharp because obviously it's meant to be poked around in your teeth and your gums. It has a more rounded tip. These right here that we carry, now they have a little cotton on the top. That's great for larger clusters of deeper holes, like if you have a chicken pox mark.
Like a larger,
wider one. You want to cover more area and have more acid on it. I usually suggest, especially for ice pick scars, just, take your nails and
kind of give it a little spin.
The take this little bit of cotton off.
Sure.
And the wood pick that's under here is far, far sharper than what a normal toothpick is, because it's meant to really poke. So this I love for like ice pick scars and things like that.
Yes.
So what you do, so here's the basic premises of it, is let's pretend this is our TCA. You take your toothpick and, you know, dip it in there, you know, hold it for a couple seconds. Your skin's all nice and clean. You take it out and you're just going to find your little hole and push, like pushing it in where you saw that poke.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to draw blood.
Right.
I'm not trying to poke through my skin. I'm trying to give it a pinch.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost a combination of, like, I don't want to say needling, it's not really needling it, but it's helping to break those little short fibers that are holding that skin down, you know, because we've damaged it.
Yeah.
It's helping to do that. So you're poking it in there, and then that acid in there, we're getting it really deep inside the hole. You know, the goal is not to take this high percentage and get it all over your face.
You want to isolate that to the interior wall
inside. So you got this hole, you're getting it inside. Yeah, you might see a little white around the rim. That's okay, but I don't want to see like white all over your face.
Right.
I want to see a hint of it on the rim, and in 5 minutes, you should see that whiteness.
Sure.
And then, rinse and you're all done. I mean, it's that simple. If you have the larger ones, I would suggest leaving the cotton on, still saturating it. Now you're holding a little bit more acid. So make sure you've, wiped it off. You don't want it all over your face. And then if you have a bigger hole, you do the same thing, but you can go over, poke numerous times inside that big scar.
Any reason that they would want to do a second layer? I've had this question before.
Yeah, it's possible. So when we have a TCA CROSS demonstration video.
Okay.
And when I did that video, I mean, I did it. Maybe I didn't have enough acid on my
Could be.
my wooden thing, and I poked it in, did it, waited my 5 minutes, and it didn't frost at all.
Okay.
So I feel like I had too little solution on there. So I re-dipped it. Made sure it's not dripping. I don't want it all over my face. Did it again, and it like frosted immediately.
Okay.
So there is the potential, if it didn't frost after 5 full minutes.
Right. You want to wait that
5 full minutes.
Full minutes, right? Okay.
If it didn't frost, you could potentially go in. And I don't feel like you need to poke so hard again. You're just trying to get that acid in there.
Let's get that solution.
And then take it out. Like you don't need to like try to poke it again.
Yeah.
Just get it in there, take it out.
Sure.
And it's just such a simple premise. And it's something that can be done once every 5 weeks.
Okay.
Never any sooner. It's a 5-week time frame. Like if you're doing a normal peel, it's usually, a TCA peel might be 4 weeks or something. This is 5 weeks.
Okay.
Takes that amount of time to stimulate those new tissues. They start moving up a little bit. And I noticed personally when I did it on, I had about 3 of them. I felt like it was just a black hole, just like a pit that was just never ending. You didn't see the bottom of it.
Right.
And I did it a couple of times. And then I noticed in the mirror, you're looking in like a up close mirror, and I'm like, wow, it doesn't look black in there anymore. Like I wonder if I got clog or skin or something. I'm like, is there something in there? Well, no, it was literally my skin growing up and filling the hole in. So that's that process, and it starts from deep in that hole and just keeps. Every time you do it, stimulating new tissue growth, stimulating new. Before you know it, it starts to fill in that hole. And then if I have any, they're just like surface now. They don't bother me. I don't even notice it. Like you just do it till you reach that point where you don't care anymore. And you're like, who cares? And I can't even see it. I have to be like really looking in a up close mirror to find it. Then you can stop. So let's say though, for the sake of argument, let's say you have a lot of them on your face. Maybe poking one at a time just doesn't seem like a good idea for you, right? You don't have to do the cross. What I would suggest with someone like that has a lot of the scars, I would suggest that you use a milder percentage. I don't want you to put 30 all over your face. We don't want that. I would suggest you do, the 13, maybe the 20. I mean, this all depends. And then just start doing just the all-over peel because the acid's going to get in there.
Sure, yeah.
And if you have ice picks, where those are those never-ending holes, go ahead and do your ice picks. But just your normal, little more shallow ones, like I said, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Just get a good coverage or do some little pokes here and there. Do whatever works for you. Sometimes there's just so many that people don't want. They're like, I'll be there all day.
Right.
I understand.
And they're a candidate for an all-over face peel.
Yeah, poke your problem areas.
Sure.
And then just do a once-over with the peel. And there are a lot of other things that could go with this, but like, are you thinking of any questions that we should cover with that? Because there's a lot of things that go with this.
I do. I have, I want to touch base on preparing for this, because you would prepare your skin with
Just
a
like-
melanin inhibitor, just like you were doing a regular face peel.
Like our Fade Bright,
Even more
hydroquinone,
important
whatever.
when you're doing the cross, because you're using a higher percentage.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if you're not prone to them,
Yes.
it is going to potentially leave a red mark or a brown mark if you have a
Sure.
little bit darker skin for a little while.
Yeah.
And the best thing you can do is prep with Fade Bright.
Right.
And that just makes me think for a second, like, let's say as this is taking the 5 weeks to heal, you can have red mark.
Yeah.
And that is, I mean, if you think about it, you did a very strong peel,
Yes.
you did it very deep into the skin, and you were quite aggressive.
Yeah.
So yeah, that skin can be red for that
Yeah.
whole 5 weeks.
Yes.
And if it's still red at 5 weeks, you could use like 1% hydrocortisone for 1 to 2 weeks. That will help to even out that redness. But if you have a darker mark, continue with your Fade
Right.
Bright. Like once it's healed, you can go back to using Fade Bright or, your daily products. But yeah, so important. Darker your skin, the longer you should prep.
Yes.
And
Percentage. Let's talk
I was
about
saying,
that.
and if you have darker skin, let's say you're olive, and I'm not saying you can't do 30.
Right.
That if you choose to do 30, go ahead and do 30. But for safety's sake, we really do recommend you use a little bit milder, maybe the 20.
Yeah.
And do the cross with the 20. I've even seen people doing the cross with the 13. It's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever you're comfortable with
Absolutely.
is what you should do.
Absolutely.
But definitely try to, I know everybody wants to treat it and go gung-ho, but if you're in that darker skin tone, maybe Fitzpatrick 4, you have olive or Indian skin, Asian skin, Mediterranean colored skin, you have the potential of getting PIH, even if you're prepping properly, because it's so high.
So true, because you could do 10 peels, prep through all 10, and then, something just sometimes changes within your, if something's happening within you, you're on some medication, you're out in the sun, like life changes happen. And sometimes it's not exactly the same every time. So you just really want to, judge, be the best judge.
It's a little bit like roulette. You just don't know 100%. So
so sometimes it's better
take a step down.
Take a step down and just be mindful that to keep the acid on the interior walls of the scar.
Yeah, make it your point.
Yeah, don't do like a big Q-tip, because then you can get like polka dotty kind of effect.
No, use these. And these are this is like, I think we sell it for $5. There's 100 of them in here.
Yes.
It's nothing. Just buy these. These are great. They're super sharp.
Yeah.
Or if you have larger holes, you can just, like I said, leave the cotton on.
Yeah.
These are just so worthwhile, and you're not going to find these. We get these from a medical supply. You're not going to find these at your local drugstore. They're just not there. Just get these. They're as inexpensive as we can make them.
Now, could they potentially use lidocaine before this cross treatment as well?
I would say, yeah.
Okay.
I'm absolutely not opposed to using lidocaine. In all honesty, if you're just doing 1 or 2 spots,
you're going to be fine.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost not even irritating because you're just doing a dot of it. It's nothing.
Yeah.
It is really nothing. Now, if you have several of them, now I could understand that
Yeah.
you might want to do that and numb, just like if you wanted to numb for any peel.
For sure.
You can totally do that.
And always, always, always look at the percentage on the bottle. So if
Before you
have,
do it.
Yes, if you have multiple percentages of acids, let's say you got a TCA 13 and you bought maybe a little vial or two of the 30 or the 20 for this, just really be mindful and look at those percentages, because you're really putting yourself at risk. Or, a lot of times they say, I accidentally grabbed the wrong bottle, which could be, or sometimes they just really just want to move up to that next percentage.
Yeah.
And it's just not in your best interest.
No.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Yes. And don't expect it. Like, the kind of rule, and what I even said in the video, is it's going to look worse before it looks better.
Yeah.
People are like, it looks worse.
I
It's
know.
bigger. It's just,
It's a great sign when that happens.
We just really did a number on that, and we're forcing that to completely renew itself.
Yeah.
So that's stems this all into action and all that new skin growth and everything.
Yeah.
But that's how it ends up filling in. Don't be scared of that. And again, take pictures. I mean, I cannot stress enough. Take a picture before you start. Take a picture every time before you do it. Like I usually say every month, but like every 5 weeks.
Yes.
Take a picture before you do your next one and before you do your next one. And you will see it is improving.
Yeah.
You will see it. And how many times is it going to take? Like people are like, well, how many times do we have to do it?
Big
you know,
question.
it might be 3 times for you and it might be
True that.
12 times for you. It depends on how bad it is. But it is going to improve.
Yeah, it will.
There's no question.
We have seen some amazing results.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable
Like they make you
results.
feel like this is going to work. Just do it.
Yeah, honestly. And, you know, it's a process like everything.
Yeah.
It takes a long time for these scars to kind of come about. So it's going to take some
Many
time
years
and
cause those.
diligence to, you know, reverse that. Obviously, there's another product that goes hand in hand with, you know, kind of stimulating that collagen after. I do want to make one quick point that, you know, your skin can, after a cross treatment, form like a little scab.
That's what we want.
You want that. It's not always like a red scab or like a purplish scab.
Someone with my color, mine were like flesh color.
Yeah,
I couldn't even tell.
You can't tell. So I had a caller the other day and said, mine didn't scab. It just like looks like plasticky over top. I'm like, that's
okay.
it. That's like
okay.
a scabbing over top. Don't be aggressive and try to remove that.
No, the longer that
Yeah.
scab stays there, the
Yeah.
better. So like if you're washing your face and you normally use a scrub, don't use
Yeah.
it. Don't use it in that area. The longer that scab stays
Yes.
attached, just like if you were to skin your knee,
Yes.
you want the scab on there. It protects it and it stimulates more tissue growth. Leave it on there.
So no need for peel boosters after
No.
the cross treatment.
Do not
Yeah.
apply luminosity or dream peel because we don't want to speed it up.
No.
We want that scab to stay on there.
Yes.
And a dream peel speeds things up a little bit. Luminosity
Yeah, you
speeds
don't
the
want that.
turnover
Yeah.
a little bit. So we want to avoid that. That was a really good call.
Yeah, because I get that question a lot, you know.
Yes.
And I always try to say, you know, just you don't want to rip the roof off. Leave the roof on
No,
there.
leave
That's
it
when
on
all the
as
good stuff is
long as
happening in the
possible.
house. Like everything is fixing itself in
Yeah,
there.
and for the most part, it's not too noticeable. I will say those with like Fitzpatrick 4 through 6, a little
Right.
darker,
Yeah.
you will see a little dark mark. And we do have another video on there of a customer,
Yeah.
what was she, like Hispanic? And she did it, and she did have the dark marks, and they did let little
yeah.
dark scabs, and they lasted for probably 5 days or so.
Yeah.
So if you have, you know, 10 of them, maybe do 3, so you
Yes.
can deal with a couple of dark marks, and people, oh, it just looks like a freckle or something.
Yeah.
And then, you know, maybe when those fall off, go ahead and do a couple more.
There you go.
And then let those fall off and do a couple more, so
Yeah.
it's not like 15
Sure.
dark marks on your face that you have to go around explaining.
Yeah.
You know,
that
you
makes
kind of
sense.
time it a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
Really, that is.
And then, so for healing, obviously things like emu oil or the essential healing blend.
Absolutely.
Either of these are perfect. And we do want you to use copper. Like I cannot recommend copper enough. This is a skin remodeling product. So
Yes.
even if you're not doing peels, let's say you have some scars and you want to target them and you don't want to do the cross, you're
Yeah.
not interested.
Yeah.
Just use this. Use the
Absolutely.
SuperCop 2X. Or you could potentially use Super CP Serum too.
Yes.
This is easy to spread if you have a lot of scarring, things like that. Just, it's about, I don't know, more than half the strength of this. Like this is really key if you're trying to target scars.
Yeah.
And a hint for this, now obviously we want this to really heal. You're going to be at least 5 days or so with that little scab on. We don't want to be irritating it. This is irritating. Don't put this on. I recommend 10 days.
Yeah.
10 days after you've done your cross. When that's done, that's fallen off. You won't
Yeah.
even see it. That's fallen off. It's not
Yeah.
red. It's a little bit more calmed down.
Nice and healed and sealed.
Then you can start putting this on. If for some reason, and I suggest you just take a little tiny dab, pat it into the hole, wipe off any excess. Do that right before you go to bed.
Yeah.
If that's burning for some reason,
Right.
okay, wash it off and wait a few more days. But
Can feel itchy, a little bit tingly.
Yeah.
That's normal.
that's normal. I mean, like if it's like burning, because
Yeah.
you're like still too red and raw.
yep.
Okay, wash it off. It should just be, and it shouldn't even be tingly or itchy for like 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
So that's why I tell people put this on right before you go to bed. If the tingly, itchy bothers you too much, you can use the serums. Don't cause that at all.
Yeah.
not at all. But I highly, highly recommend using this. I don't suggest to use it every single day. It's usually too irritating.
Right.
I would say either every other day or once every 2 days or 3 days, whatever works for you.
Sure.
Use it as often as you can. For some reason you're using it, you get irritated, stop using it for a few days, start back up again. Just try to keep it in there knowing that it will cause irritation. You just rotate it.
Yeah.
Couple other things that are beneficial, right? PDRN.
Yes. Yes.
PDRN is really, really beneficial for scars. That is something you could put on immediately after rinsing your peel.
Perfect.
You can put it on every day after that. That will be so, so healing after you've done your peel. Another way to use that, let's say you didn't want to do that peel. You want to do the microinfusion, use the tool, use the stamper, fill it with the PDRN, and then stamp that into your areas. That would be a good way to target some of the bigger ones with a lot of coverage. You could do the PDRN, microinfuse that, once every 2 weeks or so. Super option.
Is there a benefit to adding the EXO-AD to that mix?
I always want to suggest that. I was trying to be simple, but yes.
I'm sorry for kind of throwing you a curveball.
No, because I feel like I'm always telling them to do too many things. But yeah, I would always recommend to add the exosomes into the PDRN.
Right.
Because, I mean, they're the little messengers. They're the sergeants. They're going to tell your cells what to do, build more skin, fill in that hole,
I just want the customers to have all the knowledge because when they're working on these, they're serious. They want results. And if they want to throw everything at it,
Yes.
Because it takes a long time to get, these scars
It does.
to form. And it is a little bit of a road, a journey.
It's disheartening.
correct.
Yes, it's not fun.
It's not going to be an instant fix.
No.
Yeah.
No. And what I'm kind of thinking of with this is, especially if you're young enough, let's say, this is generally acne that's causing all this damage.
For sure.
If you are young enough
Yeah.
and you don't have any scarring yet, but you're getting cysts on your face monthly, get on an acne regimen. We recommend the AB cleanser, the epidermal growth factor, vitamin B is your daytime.
Yep.
Nighttime would be AB cleanser, regenerate, Fusion A, because you need a retinoid, and vitamin B. I mean, it's that simple. Use those products. What I have Regenerate here for, now this, of course, can be used for healing after this. Can be used during your, microinfusion. It can be used at any time. But if you are young enough and you don't have scars yet and you have the cyst, epidermal growth factor is so healing.
Absolutely.
Helps to deflate that scar quickly. Or not scar, that cyst quickly. And that's what's so important. It's when it's lingering around that it's starting to damage the collagen and creating these scars, right?
So
it's that inflammation.
To speed up
The healing of that cyst so you're not left with scars. So use an epidermal growth factor every day. This Regenerate, I cannot say enough. It helps to heal and prevent acne, but it's so good for cystic acne. So something like this, I think, use this, try to prevent it. And then again, if you're unfortunately having to treat it, that can be a part of your regimen too.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, we have our Illuminate mask as well that they can use after any of their treatments to help kind of speed up healing.
Yeah, so there's the red, infrared on at the same time.
Yes.
So that really promotes healing. So that would be great. Once you've rinsed your peel off, sit under that light for, at least 10 minutes, preferably even longer.
Yeah.
Stimulate that healing.
Yeah. Cool.
Absolutely. That was a good call, too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think of all the things that,
What else? I mean, there's a lot here. There's a lot you can do. I want to say, too, it doesn't have to necessarily be an atrophic scar.
Yes.
All right? If it's a raised scar, that's a hypertrophic scar.
Yes.
You can. Now, you're not going to poke into a raised scar, but you can most definitely, use the TCA 30.
Yes.
Probably easiest to put on a little Q-tip. Just be real, go over whatever the line is or whatever your scar is or dab it on there. That 5 minutes, rinse it off. That can be used for any kind of scar. The only kind of scar I don't recommend is if you have a keloid scar.
For sure.
So the difference between a hypertrophic scar and a keloid scar is if your wound is here and it heals and you have a raised scar, but it's just exactly where the wound was, that's just normal. You can go ahead and treat it with acid. If by chance, though, let's say the wound was only, an inch long, but your scar is 2 inches long and a quarter inch more, then you've got a keloid scar where the scar has moved past the wound. So you don't want to use a strong acid because you could potentially make that worse.
Right.
You can still use copper, and I always recommend copper, and I usually recommend like Serum 30.
Yeah.
And then the copper, if you're trying to treat a keloid scar. But don't do the strong peel, don't do the cross, just apply it.
Speaking of the multi-acid Serum 30 and the copper peptides, I was counseling a customer on the phone. They had an injury scar, okay, and they were not sure about doing peels. And, their scar was nice and healed and sealed. It was on their forehead. And we decided that using the multi-acid Serum 30 and then alternating that with the copper peptide, the SuperCop 2X. And I know for a fact my son has had an injury scar on his forehead, and our wonderful Andrea from our Facebook Gurus moderator had a similar an injury
around her eye
from a bicycle accident. And I remember when my son had his injury, I remember texting Andrea because, I know she didn't do peels, and I couldn't remember exactly what she was using, but I wanted my son to do exactly what she was doing.
the same thing you did.
Because you could barely see her scar.
You can't see anything.
And, now my son, you can barely see it either above his eyebrow.
I'm telling you,
he
it's
did that.
so good.
I'm hoping that our customer that I counseled on the phone has the same results. Because sometimes, it's a lot to jump into the peels, and they're a little hesitant.
Yeah, and that's why you can start with the serum or just the copper.
Exactly.
Just get started and take a picture so you can monitor your changes. I mean, it's...
And the Serum 30 is strong, so it's not like we're saying put it all over your face. We're saying,
it's kind of like we're saying like every other day. Okay, do the Serum 30 today, do the copper tomorrow.
Yeah, and put
because
it
it can
right
be irritating.
just on where your scar is or whatever you have going on. If it's a surgical scar, if it's a injury scar, any of those. If you're just diligent about it, take that photo at the beginning and just be consistent. Emu oil is also amazing because it really does help. The
Emu oil is good for scarring.
Yeah, the emu oil, the essential healing blend, those are all great choices. And,
Yeah.
So they can get to the finish line many ways.
Yeah. And if they have questions on how to do this, if they want us to walk them through, of course, we have the TCA CROSS video on the website.
For sure.
There is another video on scarring on the website, which is saying the exact same things that we're saying here. Serum, either Serum 15 if you're really sensitive, Serum 30, the coppers. They're all on there, but you can watch that. And, of course, you can call us because, just like you said, we counsel customers all day long. We're open 9 to 5 or 9 to 4:30 Eastern, Monday through Friday.
Absolutely.
And you call, and someone's going to answer the phone.
They will.
I mean, if somebody doesn't answer the phone, you'll end up on hold, possibly.
Yeah, because we're counseling someone else.
We'll get to you. And, I mean, sometimes we might be on the phone for 45 minutes with a customer.
Yeah, because
it happens.
I was on the phone for 1 hour and 6 minutes with a client the other day. I don't even remember the scenario, but it was a lot we were going through. And, it was a successful call. And, we counseled through everything. And I feel like, they were off to the races. They placed their order. And, I'm sure we'll be touching base again soon.
Oh, yeah. But that's just like we're actually here to help you.
You can send us photos, too, at support@Platinum Skincare. We're always happy to look at the photos. That really does help us make good recommendations.
It does help. When you're emailing, please be like, and I don't want you to write a book.
Yeah.
But be descriptive.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I did this. It's 6 years old, this wound. It healed. It's like this. What should I do?
For sure.
Or if you're super sensitive, let us know you're super sensitive.
Yeah.
If you're skin like a piece of wood, let us know that so we can be a little bit more aggressive with our recommendations. Send a photo. Sometimes people think it's just the worst thing in the world, and we're like, I'm sorry, what am I looking at? Like, what am I looking at? Because I don't even see what has ended their world. And I'm like,
we are our worst critics, And it's just like sometimes, like you said, they may have one indentation scar, and we're looking at them overall and thinking, oh my God, they got such
beautiful
lovely skin. Yeah.
What is the problem here? Yeah. But reach out to us. We can help you. This is something that's solvable.
Absolutely. Yes, we can. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.